There's a fight brewing on Capitol Hill among Democrats over President Obama's tax cut compromise. A defiant President Obama went on the offensive today against Democrats during a press conference, and he went after it early this afternoon.
This notion that somehow, we are willing to compromise too much reminds me of the debate that we had during health care. This is the public option debate all over again. So I pass a signature piece of legislation where we finally get health care for all Americans, something that Democrats had been fighting for 100 years. But because there was a provision in there that they didn't get, somehow that was a sign of weakness and compromise. Now, if that's the standard by which we are measuring success or core principles, then let's face it, we will never get anything done. People will have the satisfaction of having a purist position and no victories for the American people. And we will be able to feel good about ourselves and sanctimonious about how pure our intentions are and how tough we are. And in the meantime, the American people are still seeing themselves not able to get health insurance because of a pre-existing condition, or not being able to pay their bills because their unemployment insurance ran out. That can't be the measure of how we think about our public service. That can't be the measure of what it means to be a Democrat.
What it means to be a Democrat is the question that is being asked across the country tonight by Democrats. The president tells us that we're being too hard on him. I've never seen a president come out in a press conference and be so aggressive against his own party. He went on to say America was founded on compromise.
This country was founded on compromise. I couldn't go through the front door at this country's founding. And, if we were really thinking about ideal positions, we wouldn't have a union. So my job is to make sure that we have a North Star out there. What is helping the American people live out their lives? What is giving them more opportunity? What is growing the economy? What is making us more competitive? And at any given juncture, there are going to be times where my preferred option, what I'm absolutely positive is right, I can't get done.
Well, President Obama claims he has to compromise after spending the last 24 months being told no by the minority party, the party of no. The president pretty much had his back up big time today. He wanted to tell liberals he's lived up to all of his campaign promises.
I don't think there's a single Democrat out there who, if they looked at where we started when I came into office and look at where we are now, would say that somehow we have not moved in the direction that I promised. Take a tally. Look at what I promised during the campaign. There's not a single thing that I've said that I would do that I have not either done or tried to do.
Well, we can look at it from the Republicans' perspective. They got the president to cave on tax cuts. He says it's not a cave. And now they have him attacking his own base. I think President Obama basically has a communication problem. He even has a communication problem with the very people that put him in office, his base. They have been disregarded from day one. Senator Mary Landrieu is mad at the president as well for compromising with the Republicans without talking to his own party and caucus. She said today he didn't even speak to the Democratic caucus, not the liberal group, not the moderate group, not the conservative group. Landrieu also hammered the idea of giving tax cuts to millionaires. She went on to say, I'm going to argue forcefully for the non-consensus and the almost, moral corruptness of that particular policy. This is beyond politics. This is about justice and doing what is right for the American people. Over in the House, a growing coalition of Democrats don't like the president's plan either. The co-chairs of the Progressive Caucus put out this statement earlier today. We call on our congressional leaders in the House and the Senate to hold firm on passing a middle-class tax cut with no strings attached this holiday season. Should be about supporting middle-class Americans, not another taxpayer-funded present for the wealthy. Liberals are frustrated with President Obama's capitulation. That's what they perceive it to be. The president doesn't agree. He says he's drawn plenty of lines in the sand with the Republicans.
Look, I've got a whole bunch of lines in the sand. Not making the tax cuts for the wealthy permanent. That was a line in the sand. Making sure that the things that most impact middle-class families and low-income families, that those were preserved. That was a line in the sand.
Let's talk about those tax cuts not being permanent. This is where the Republicans are. That's not even a bargaining chip, because they think with all the corporate money that they've got, they're going to come back in 2012 and win the Senate and be able to ramrod any tax rate they want right on through the Congress and force the president to do business with them. So that's not really a bargaining chip or capitulation on the part of the righties. If President Obama can't draw a line in the sand with the Republicans, congressional Democrats need to step up for him and get it done. After being sold time and time again down the road, we liberals can't lose our compass. For the record, there's nothing radical about wanting health care for every American. There's nothing radical about fair taxation when the income disparity in this country is at an all-time high. And there's nothing radical about supporting American workers and American products. And there's nothing radical about expecting our government to respond to the majority of the people. President Obama, in the eyes of a lot of liberals, is now the modern-day version of Neville Chamberlain. The capitulator-in-chief, it hurts to say that, but that's what's out there. The Republicans get, well, whatever they want. All they have to do is say no, and then just wait this administration out. And where did this desire to avoid conflict come from? I think the President of the United States is angry at the wrong people. We're getting a lecture today on compromise after the party of no has said no for 24 months, said they wanted it to be his Waterloo health care, says that they want him to be a one-termer, and then they lay down the ultimatum, and then he says, okay, let's do it, and comes back and sells his base saying, hey, I fought hard, and then gets his back up at a press conference today. I've never seen anything like this. Has any president ever handled his base like this? If you want to win an election, if you want to be re-elected, you have to do at least something for your base. To alienate your base across the board, it ain't good. That can't be good. It's like the guy on the back of the Dodge truck commercial, you know, the car goes off the back and he looks at it, that can't be good. That's where the base is tonight. This can't be good. It is just giving away to the top 2%. Why? Because they demanded it. And I want to answer directly to the White House tonight. This bullet point that they're putting out about 2 million people are going to be hurt. Hold the phone. Where the hell was the concern for the 5 million people who are 99ers that you've just stood ominously silent? Where's the fight for the 99ers? Where's the fight for the long-term unemployed? Now we come up with this 2-for-1 deal. They get a 2-year tax abatement. They get a 2-year stretch on the Bush tax cuts, and we're going to give up unemployment after we borrow $420 billion from the Chinese. Oh, we're going to do 13 months now of unemployment benefits for only 2 million people when there's how many millions out there that aren't getting any help? These are extraordinary times, extraordinary circumstances, and the fight can't be normal. It has to be extraordinary. Tell me what you think on our telephone survey tonight. The number to dial is 1-877-ED-MSNBC. My question tonight is, do you think President Obama has lived up to his promises of hope and change? Press the number 1 for yes. Press the number 2 for no. We'll bring you the results later on in the show. And I want to say this before we go to our first guest tonight. I'm not going to sit here and take heat from anybody in this country saying that, oh, Ed, you're too hard on President Obama. The left is too hard. No. If we don't speak up, if we don't cherish this moment of having the voice and having the opportunity to speak up and letting this administration know exactly where we stand after working so hard to get him elected, we are doing him a disservice. We're not being Americans if we sit back and take this. Joining me now is Congressman Jim McDermott. He's a member of the House Ways and Means Committee and the chair of the subcommittee on income security and family support. Congressman, your thoughts on the press conference today?
Well, Ed, the situation is really this. You have to listen to Mitch McConnell. First, he said, my first job is to make sure that Obama doesn't get reelected. My second job is that nothing will move here unless the tax cuts for the millionaires gets put into law. Now, the reason we're getting this bum's rush today is that the Republicans don't want to have to do it when they're in control of the House of Representatives and the Senate. They want it to be done when the Democrats are in charge, so they can't be blamed for the economic inequities that are going on in this society. In 1980, the top 5% of people in this country had $8 trillion in wealth. Today, the top 5% have $40 trillion in wealth.
What about the deal? The president admitted today that most of the American people, 67% of them, are with him on this issue, but he's not going to get it because he can't get the votes. What about the Democrats? Steny Hoyer says there's no deal. There was no deal made. Where are we tonight?
I don't think the president is in running clear at the moment. He has got real problems because more than two-thirds of the people in this country do not believe we should extend the tax benefits for the wealthy. They don't agree with the president, and he's agreeing with the Republicans, and he's just on the wrong side of that part of the issue. And until that changes, I don't think you're going to get that bill through in this Congress. He can certainly get it through in January when the Republicans control it, but he can't. Right now, the way it is, he can't get it.
Your call tonight is you don't think that the Democrats are going to support this in the House. Is that right?
That's my guess. I can't imagine how you could hold unemployed people hostage for 2 months right through the Christmas season and have 2 million people lose the ability to put the turkey on the table.
Yeah.
And still say, but I voted for a tax cut for the extremely wealthy in this country who've already got more than enough.
Congressman Jim McDermott, thanks for speaking up tonight. I appreciate your time.